Hello, this is Pat Walker at MissionWinners.com, and I am doing a training video, a trading training video. How about that? What are we looking at? Something that we discussed today in both the VIP feed and in the big Twitter feed. Trading journals. A trading journal. Do you have a record of your analysis of your trades? I encourage you to do that. And you don't need to make this some great big arduous task, because that will probably defeat the purpose and that you'll cut corners. So do it justice, but you don't need to write a book on it. But be brutally honest with yourself when you're doing this. You will find that your results will improve. If you're honest with yourself, you will sit there and write out, this is what I did right, this is what I did wrong, and this is what I need to change. If you just do that, folks, all of a sudden things start coming together. You know what? We talk about accountability partners in various facets of life. Be your accountability partner. One of the things a lot of people do is they write a whole bunch of things out on a piece of paper. You know, there's a phrase, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Why don't you write your notes on the chart itself? Print that sucker out and refer to it. So here we go. We're looking at BABA from a couple of days ago. I could write a note on this where this was a poor close. Look at the open, look at the high, look at the low, close in the bottom half of its range on the pickup and volume. Now, let's flip that. You could put an arrow and draw that. Here, I'll show you something what I do. This is Instant Windows. I could just type this. See how I'm doing that? Boom, there it is. And then what do I say? Well, gosh, a year from now, I don't know which bar I'm talking about. Point it, put an arrow on and draw that sucker. There's that bar. Then you could write another note for this one and say, gapped up, fell down to the 20-day, closed near its highs for the day on a pickup in volume, watching closely for entry across these tops. And write it on here. Actually write it. I'll show you like this, you know. So I wrote it. There you go. Boom, there it is. Now, there's a little bit separated here, okay, or overlap, but you get the gist. And then take the arrow and draw it to that right there. So you know what you're looking at. Then you know what you could do? You could print that sucker out. But that really doesn't do much for you at this point in time. Make your trade journal, after the trades happen too, okay? So you've got this set up and you're ready. So then it advances the next day and you buy it. You're buying it right there, okay? So you put in there, what were your triggers to buy it? You should write down, my trigger was taking out this bar's highs. Print it out and put it on the chart. My trigger, taking out this bar's highs. And draw an arrow to it. Boom, done. And it did there. Also, I have to tell you, when you're doing this, you should be looking at the daily chart, which is what this is. You should be looking at the hourly chart, and you should be looking at the 30-minute chart to see volume confirmation. That's a trade secret, trade tactic I share with you. Here's the daily. Right here, how is the volume on the hourly on this? Boom, right there. Look at that. They voted. Here's the 30-minute chart. Boom, came down, bounces right back, good volume. They voted. This is what we're looking for. See this right here? There they go. They bought it. Off to the races. So we were set. Going to go back here. That's what we're looking at. Takes off the next day and you're off to the races on heavy volume on the daily chart, volume confirmation on the daily hour. Now here's what you do. Write that and put a note on there on maybe the hourly chart. Or you could put another note up here drawing it to this bar. And be honest. Where was the entry spot? The entry spot is taking out the highs of this bar. You need to buy it near the highs of this bar if the volume's good. Did you buy it right? Be honest with yourself. If the entry's taken out the highs of this bar, which 183.59, and you ended up buying it for 186, You screwed up. You waited. Don't wait. Be decisive. The entry's there. It's clean and simple. Do it. Do it. Run it like a business. And that's the way you do it with no emotions. Now, we have to take it a step further. We have to analyze, what were you feeling at that time? Did you follow your rules? By following your rules, were you anxious? Did you limit losses if it doesn't work out? Write it all out. Put it on the chart. And again, I stress, a lot of people have a trading journal. They got all these notes. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Put your notes on the chart and print it out. I have notes on charts from, you think I'm nuts? I have notes on charts from the frickin' 1980s and 1990s. And I still periodically look at them. Why? Charts are a reflection of human emotion. Fear, greed, complacency, vengeance. That's what charts are. When you understand that, you can refer to it on the chart and analyze what your emotions were and write it down. So, be honest. Was my entry good? Then take it a step further. You need to do this. This is Alibaba right here. You need to take a look at what was the market doing at that time. Here, let's go here. Right here. What's the market doing? Is the market good or not? Is the market bad? Put that on your notes so that you can frame it up. Folks, a major portion of a stock price's movement is related to the market. So if the market's bad, were you following your rule? And be honest with yourself. I'm not trying to hound you on this, but it'll help you. It will help you. Don't lie to yourself, because it's not going to do you and your family any good, and you're going to continue making the same mistakes. Which leads to another point. Do you have specific tactics written out on how to get into a stock? Like 1, 2, or 3 different chart pattern setups. That's all you need. Turn off the noise. Turn off the TV. Don't sit there and try to figure out a million different things. Find a few things and stick with it. A few things that work. Now you could say, well, God, how do you find that out? You know what you have to do? You got to go back and look at charts. You got to constantly look and say, this consistently worked. Right here. Oh, look at this. This broke out. It pulled back right to the 50-day and the rising 20. By God, look at this right here. Look at it take off on a volume pickup. Look for that kind of a pattern. Look for it over and over again. Pretty soon you train your eyes. All you need is 1, 2, or 3 patterns. Stick with it. Turn off the noise, and you'll be better for it. Questions. What was your entry? What was your trigger to buy? Did you do it? What was your trigger to sell? To A, limit a loss, or B, sell some into profits? And did you do it? Look at the daily chart, look at the hourly. Did you follow those rules? And you're like, well, I don't have any rules. Then you know what you do? Start looking at a ton of charts so that you can develop your rules. We teach rules at missionwinners.com every day, all day, and we show examples. We're constantly showing examples and talking about them. I think that's very important. So did you follow your rules and your tactics? Your rules and tactics for buying, your rules and tactics for selling. Print out the chart. The before, the day before you bought it, and the after, the day that you sold your last shares, and mark up that chart. Bill O'Neill, you've seen pictures. Bill O'Neill marked up his charts like crazy. I mark up my charts. Why? Because it helps me hone my skills. I share this with people a lot. Most people don't know this. Ted Williams was the last person to bat 400 in Major League Baseball. The last batter to do it in Major League Baseball. Ted Williams still took batting practice the year he batted 400. He still took batting practice. We have to take batting practice. How do we do it? By a chart journal, by a trading journal, and put it on the chart itself. That way you can refer to it on, again, what you did wrong, what you did right, and frame it against the price action of the chart, and frame it up against the price action of either QLD or SSO. What was the market doing at that time? And you can say, why is that important? About 40% of a stock price's movement is related to what the market's doing. If the market's getting ripped and you keep buying, well, by God, you're doing something wrong. Pretty soon you'll sit there and say, I bought this stock and it failed and the market was really bad. The next day, I bought this stock and it failed and the market was really bad and I lost money. And the next day, the same thing. Pretty soon you sit there and go, gosh, it looks like there's a common theme. I'm buying when the market's really bad. You know what? I better not buy when the market's bad. There you go. That's how you do it. Make that journal and be honest with yourself. Looking at the daily, hourly, 30-minute charts. Study the price. Study the volume. Put the notes on the chart itself and print that sucker out. And then do this. After you print it out, let's suppose I printed this out. Don't erase the notes. You might look at this chart and think of other things, and you can put it on there and type those on there and print out the chart again. It's easy to do. You got a printer connected to your computer, and you're done. I know I'm talking longer than I should have, but you know what, folks? This is really important. This will have a profound impact on your success, or it could prevent failure, or it could lead to continued failure. So take the time to do this. I love doing this stuff. I love teaching this. I teach this as the IBD Meetup leaders, co-leader. I love talking about this stuff. I love chart analysis. You know why? Because charts are nothing but a reflection of people's emotions, fear and greed, complacency. And I can document it over and over again looking at a chart. Think about what a double top is. A double top. Why does a double top form? You ever want to know? Ask me. We'll talk about it. Anyway, that's for you. Make that trading journal. If you have questions, you can reach me at missionwinners.com. And again, we go through this every day with the VIP members. It's very, very important. We hone our skills. So thank you very much and have a good night.